This conference will now be
Okay.
recorded.
So welcome everybody. It's first meeting of the month, August 3rd. This is Rick. And I'm leading the moderation tonight. I got some help from Len and from Dr. John and anybody else who chimes in. Our sincere thanks to our 4 sponsors right now, who are Novartis, Telix. I always blank on this, and I should know. Novartis, Telix. Okay.
Foundation Medicine.
Foundation
Blue Earth.
Medicine. And Blue Earth. Thank you very much. I should remember Blue Earth because I've been writing to them today to try and sort out this mess with the Axumin scans. And here I am, and then I blank on it. It's nerves. So I always forget to say this, but the other moderators don't. But please don't take anything that we say in this meeting as medical advice unless it happens to come from one of our doctors. And even then, I wouldn't take it as medical advice. But we encourage you all to take it back to your provider team, your HCPs, and discuss it with them, which is about what 77% of our people do, because I was looking at those numbers today. And we have 3 new men, so we're going to try and get through them. And our first is Bob Faulkner, who came in late last week, so we weren't able to take him and deferred him to this week. So welcome this week, Bob. And you heard the questions, so I'm just going to run down with them with you. Okay. I'm just writing here. And how old are you, Bob?
77.
Okay. And are you a veteran?
No.
Okay. And where do you live?
I live in Long Lake, New York.
Long Lake, New York. Is that, what part of New York is that? Is that way up there?
Yeah, very Adirondacks, northern New York.
Okay, because when we come, if we need to recommend anybody, it helps us to know. How did you learn about AnCan?
Online looking for, prostate cancer groups.
Okay, you got it. When were you diagnosed? How were you diagnosed? And by what type of doctor?
I was diagnosed in 2018 by a urologist. And how was I diagnosed? I was complaining of trouble urinating, and I also complained of pain in my groin.
Right.
And he did a TERP, and from that he got my prognosis of prostate cancer. And it
Okay. And what was your PSA? And what was your Gleason score?
PSA was 5, and the Gleason score was 9.
Was that a 4+5 or a 5+4?
5+4.
Okay. And this was in 2018, so it was really before widespread PSMAs. Did they do any type of additional scans or additional tests, like a bone scan or a CT scan or anything like that?
Well, I really had a problem with this urologist, so I immediately immediately switched and got myself a medical oncologist.
Okay, good job.
Yeah, they did bone scans.
Where was that medical oncologist?
Albany, New York.
Okay. And what showed up in those extra scans?
you know, that the cancer had metastasized outside of the prostate into my pubic bone
Okay.
on the right side, and that was about it.
Okay. So are you still with the hospital in Albany, or have you switched?
No, I still am with a medical oncologist in Albany, but I did go to Boston Hospital. I'm trying to think of the name.
Dana-Farber?
Dana-Farber for a second opinion.
Okay. And who did you see at Dana-Farber?
I can't tell you the doctor's name right now.
Okay. And who is your main doc at Albany?
It's Dr. Ravila. He's with
VILLA?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's with company practice called NYOH, New York Oncology and Hematology.
Okay. And do you know if he specializes in prostate cancer, or is he just a general medical oncologist?
Yeah, he specializes in prostate cancer.
Okay. So what was your first, what did Dr. Vila back in 2018 recommend you do?
I went on Lupron. I went on abiraterone, and I had radiation of that pubic bone and Casodex.
Okay. And but the Casodex was just before the Lupron, or did he keep you on Casodex?
Was it before the Lupron? I think it was about. I went on about the same time.
Right. And did you stay on it, or was it just 2 weeks?
Which one?
The Casodex.
Yeah, I stayed on it.
Oh, you stayed on it. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Okay. Maybe I'm wrong with that. Maybe I didn't stay on the Casodex long. I can't remember.
Yeah. If the wife's there, she's very, very welcome to join us.
Okay,
Just
I appreciate that because he has a better memory.
no, of course. We love to have
Hey, all.
the care partners
Okay,
joining us. So
that's good.
that's great. That's great. You're very, very welcome. Um, so how many? You mentioned the pubic bone. Was that about the only place they saw it, or did you have other lesions as well?
That was mainly where it was. Yeah.
Okay. So this is back to 2018. Do you want to bring me up to date on what has happened since 2018 with your PSA and your health and anything else?
Well, I think I did very well with the abiraterone because I didn't. It was successful until 2025, and my PSA was staying at 0.1 or less. So everything seemed to be doing pretty good, you know. And then in let's see here, March, January really of 2000. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, in August, my in September, my PSA started to go up a little bit, not a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like it went to 0.32, and the next one was 0.45.
Mm-hmm.
And I had scans in August, and they reported that they thought they saw some, new growth of the cancer, and I got to correct what I said earlier. The current doctor I have, Ravila, is not the one I had at this time. It was with NYOH, but it was a different doctor. I probably don't want to mention his name. But when the PSA started to go up there, like December 0.16, and, he said, I think the MRI is not correct, and your PSA is not going up enough to be a problem. And then we redid the MRI, and then 2 months later he says, I think it is a problem, and I think you ought to go on chemo. So we started the process to get on chemo, and I started it on November 24th, 2025.
Okay, so what was it in these scans that they saw that made him think you should go on chemo? How many lesions did they see?
That I don't know.
Okay. So some of this is sort of important, so it's probably a good idea to get that information from your portal, so we know how extensive the disease is. How high did your PSA get before you started chemo?
Just 1 second. 0.45.
Okay, so 0.45 you started chemo, and how many? And that was docetaxel, I assume, right?
Yes.
And how many docetaxels did you have before stopping?
6.
Okay, so you went the whole thing. God bless you. And how did you manage with that?
I managed all right. Besides the fatigue, the fatigue and the nerve problems bothered me a little bit.
Right.
That was it. It wasn't that bad.
Okay. And what did you stay on the Lupron and the abiraterone, or did he take you off the abiraterone? What were you doing?
Took me off the abiraterone and left me on the Lupron.
Just on its own, just the Lupron.
Yeah.
Okay. And then 11:25. So that probably took you through to about April or May, right?
Right. May. Yeah. And then in June I started Pluvicto and Xtandi.
Okay. So hold on a second. Why did you start? What was your PSA doing? Did it not go down with all of this?
It went down. Well, it went down to 0.18.
Okay, and then in May when you started the Pluvicto, why did he start you on Pluvicto immediately?
Because I had a PET scan before that. At that time, I had a PET scan.
Yeah.
And I had cancer in both shoulders, one of my ribs on the right side.
Okay, got it. So he said, okay, let's put you on this Pluvicto and enzalutamide combination. And
I want to say that I also, during the chemo, I had radiation on my shoulder and my lower spine.
Okay. And so where are you now?
I'm just going tomorrow to get my second Pluvicto.
Okay.
And the plan is after my third one, he's going to do another PET scan.
Right.
I'm also on Xgeva.
Good. When did he start that?
That was sometime when I was taking the chemo.
Okay.
I don't know
So,
exactly when.
and your current PSA, is it still at 0.18 or has it changed at all?
It's 0.15. The very last one was 0.15.
Okay. All right. Couple of quick other questions. Have you had any genetic or somatic testing? Have
Yes.
they? Okay. First of all, do you have anything inherited?
Yes.
What do you got?
My father died of prostate cancer.
Okay. And do you have any inherited genes? Did they test you to see if you have any inherited mutations?
All I know is I did the gene tests, and there was nothing that they could work with. So if that answers your question, they told me.
Well, it kind of does, but you've got to go back and talk to him a little bit. So there are two ways that you can have mutations. One is you can inherit them from your parents. Did your mother have any cancer or not?
No.
Okay. Any other cancer in your family of any sort?
My sister had breast cancer.
Okay, that's important. So there are two ways you can get it. One is that you can inherit something from your parents. The other way is you can make it yourself.
Oh.
So we don't know what they found. If they only tested you for inherited mutations, which they should have done, they should have tested you for both according to the standard of care. But a lot of times they don't do both. Now, if they did test you for both and you showed negative, then they didn't need to do the germline. So let's hope that's what they did. But you do need to ask Dr. Revere whether you've had germline and somatic testing.
I did. I know I had germline.
Okay. But if that was the only thing they did, then you haven't had somatic testing.
Okay, I'll find out.
Well, it's more than find out. You've got to get it. Because we want to know what mutations you're making in your own body. And the and if the doctor pushes back, you tell him, but doc, it's in the NCCN guidelines. You're supposed to do this.
Somatic testing.
Somatic testing, and they may be able to do it from your blood, which is probably the best case for you right now. We want to know if there are any mutations in there that might pick you out for special treatments.
Okay.
Okay, and that's how we're going to find out. So you got to ask for somatic testing, and they should be doing it. And if you have any lesions that are still there that they can biopsy, particularly in soft tissue, that would be the best. But if not, then with your PSA at about 0.15, we may get something out of that. But to go back to old biopsy samples from 2018 is not the way to do it. So you'll come back and talk to us about what they suggest, but please talk to your doc. We've got you on the group, and we will take, why don't you ask us what questions you have, and then we'll open it up to everybody.
I guess I am now wondering, what people in the group have done Pluvicto and what kind of success they've had, and
right. So I'll say a couple of things. We have found in this group from long experience that you don't want to stay on a combination for 7 years, because whilst it can keep you alive, it makes the cancer very smart and it makes the cancer very difficult to treat when you come off it. That goes for a lot of people that we've seen, including my co-founder, Rob Beniscus, who this virtual room is named after. He was one of the first people ever to do abiraterone. So we like to see changes in that medication, and a lot of docs either aren't aware or don't think about it. So when they left you on from 2018 to 2025, it meant that when the abiraterone failed you, we might have trouble finding something that would work well, which is sort of what we're seeing. The second thing I want to say is we'll definitely open it up to anybody in the room who's had Pluvicto. I don't know if there is. I can't recall offhand. But one thing that we are aware of is you may not need, especially if you're feeling good, you may not need all 6 treatments of the Pluvicto. And sometimes if you don't, and we're scanning you along the way, it's not a bad idea to leave a couple in your back pocket. Because right now, whilst we know you can retreat with Pluvicto, and we've seen people re-challenge with Pluvicto, it can be very hard to do that because the insurance won't pay for it. But if you reserve a couple, you can use them later. We've got somebody doing that who attends regularly, usually on the Tuesday meetings.
Okay.
So it's a discussion that is really good to have with your doctor. Now, I don't know Dr. Revilla. How does he spell his name again? Is it Revilla?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. So we don't know Dr. Revilla. I think there may be a GU medical oncologist that we know at one of the Albany hospitals. But we really feel strongly that you should be with somebody who has a real track record in prostate cancer, who would have been switching you along the way. We wouldn't have gotten, some of these things wouldn't have happened. You would have had genomic testing, for example, somatic testing, which is really, can be really important, a couple of other issues. So those are just a couple of comments I have. Do we have anybody who has been on Pluvicto, who has had Pluvicto in the room tonight? You can put up your hand.
Wow.
Somebody said yes, but nobody's put up a hand.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, Frank has, and Richard Kramer, please use the hands up feature, and I'll get to you. Frank, what, thank you, Richard. We'll come to you in a second. So, what was your question about the Pluvicto for Frank and also for Richard Kramer?
I just wonder how, how the side effects were and how effective he thinks it was.
Frank.
I think the Pluvicto was really effective. For me, I actually did 10 rounds of it, but I feel that it cleared up all the cancer off of my bones. And I mean, I had great energy going through it. I have not stopped living a normal life, but mine reoccurred after I did 6, and then it reoccurred. What, 4 months later? Yeah, 4 months later, and then I did 6 more. 4 more, and then it was still reoccurring. So now I switched to cabazitaxel. That's a chemo, but this was all in the last. When did I start? Yeah. So anyway, I mean, I think it did good because my scans are good.
Okay.
Were good.
Richard, how about you?
I went through the 6, and I also before that I also had the chemo, the 6 doxycycline, and then another 14 of the cabitaxel, and I could say it about the same. The only side effect that has been bad has been the dry mouth. That is, I was off of it now from May, so, and I still have the dry mouth.
I see.
But it was effective. It was very good. I had the cancer in several lymph nodes through the abdomen, and they were cleared up. Now, this week, I'm going to go get the CT scan and bone scan, and we'll see if they do anything. But the PET scan, PSMA PET scan, was really good.
Okay. So, you know, and also both these gents have very difficult types of cancer. We've had loads and loads of guys do, and most of the guys do pretty well. They don't have serious side effects. A few do. A few have pain after 2 or 3. But with you know, I don't exactly know how bad your burden is, but with a fairly easy burden, then you know, you should sail through it. But I think the biggest concern we have is whether, in fact, Dr. Revere is a bona fide genitourinary medical oncologist. I mean, he may have an interest, but does he spend all his time in that area? We're not sure. And so we'll say what we've said to many, many people, which is it's really worth your while getting a specialist on board, because they really understand this disease. Now, if Dana-Farber is an option for you, we've got a whole bunch of guys we can give you who are great, who are at Dana-Farber. We can give you guys. I mean, this is why I was asking you before where exactly Long Lake is. What's the closest? Is Albany the closest main city to you?
Yes, it is.
So, you know, we can give you guys in the city. We don't love Memorial Sloan Kettering in White Plains because they just don't have the doctors just aren't as good as they are in the city, even though White Plains would be a lot closer to you.
I did go there too, and I felt like I was pushed in and out. You know, they were so busy they didn't have the time.
Yeah. The thing is, they have better knowledge, but really the city is the place to go. We have a great doc in Stamford, Connecticut, which is sort of within striking distance, one of the best in the country.
Right.
But you have to sort of give us a little more guidance. And if you are thinking about going back to Boston, then we can certainly give you some good names at Dana-Farber.
Yeah, I was when I get the PET scan after the 3rd Pluvicto, I was thinking of going back and seeing the doctor at Dana-Farber.
Okay, but you don't remember his name?
I can get it out. If you want me to go get it, I'll get it.
Okay, well,
You probably would know it.
yeah. So we'd like to know who it was. And we can do that next week. Just come back next week. I've
Okay.
really got to move on because I got 2 other newbies and we have some people who need questions. So you'll forgive me if we move on.
Okay.
Okay, and you know, come back and just keep coming back, Bob, and we will get you straightened out. But I think the number one call right now is to try and get you fixed up with a really good quarterback.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. Bob Burns, I think, was the next person on my list. And he came to us through Neil and Sundstrom. And I sent him the newbie sheet. So, Mr. Burns, you should be all prepared and ready to go. How old are you?
I'm 72.
Okay. And are you a vet?
No.
Okay. We ask if you're a vet because we have some really good veterans programming. That's the reason
Okay.
why.
Yeah.
We can help vets get everything they are entitled to. And where do you live?
I live in Long Beach, California.
Okay. They also have a good VA in Long Beach. So
Indeed they do.
So, and I'm assuming that Neil Sundstrom told you about AnCan. Is that right? Must be.
Yeah,
right.
that's correct.
When were you diagnosed? How were you diagnosed? And who diagnosed you?
So I was. It was 2004.
Yeah.
I was turning 50. I hadn't had a physical in 20 years, so I went and got a physical. I had no symptoms. During a digital rectal exam, my GP noticed some bumps and sent me to a urologist. And he did a biopsy and found that I had prostate cancer. Initial PSA, well, my PSA was a little high too. I think it was around 5. So I had robotic prostate removal.
Hold on. What was your Gleason score? Well, what was your Gleason score?
Gleason score was 4+3.
And was it the same after the surgery?
No, it was 5+4.
It was 5+4 after the surgery. Okay. So, but they did a bone scan, I'm sure, and they didn't see anything on the bone scan, correct?
Not that I recall. I don't remember a bone scan. After the surgery, the surgeon, well, I was informed that they had the cancer had escaped the prostate capsule, and I did 35 radiation sessions, 5 days a week, 7 weeks, you know.
Okay. Where did you do this?
At City of Hope in Duarte, California.
Okay. And did you do was your surgery at COH?
That's right. It was a guy named Kawachi who's now retired, but.
Yeah. Yeah. This is even before my time. So,
Yeah.
we're going back a ways. So, and he put you on Lupron, no doubt.
After the radiation, my PSA didn't go up for a couple of years. So around 2007, I went on Lupron. I did Casodex first, and then Lupron.
Okay, so let me stop you there. So he thought you needed Lupron, but he thought you needed radiation. Sounds like across the pelvic girdle. It was out. Did they see lymph nodes, or did they find?
I'll get to that. Not at that time.
Not at that time. So, and he didn't put you on hormone therapy until 2007.
Right, because after radiation, the PSA stayed unmeasurable until 2000. After the radiation was in September 2004 ish, and then 2007 I started. The PSA went up, and we did Casodex and then Lupron.
Okay. Well, all right. That's
Oh, and a
when
mushroom trial was in there somewhere too.
which trial?
A mushroom trial?
Oh, with turkey tail, probably.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yes.
That did
Okay.
nothing.
Yeah. No, I mean, it may have had some. It may have
Yeah,
been.
maybe. Yeah, you don't know.
Yeah,
Right?
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't discount turkey tail, but yes, it was. There was a lot of talk about it around that time, 2007 to 10 to 11. I actually was mushrooming at that time and used to bring turkey tail back for a buddy of mine. So tell me what happened after 2007.
I was on 18 months of Lupron. Casodex was a couple of weeks, I think.
Yeah.
And then my PSA, I mean, the side effects, hot flashes, and all that nonsense were uncomfortable. But my PSA stayed low until 2020, when it went up to like 13.
Okay, so when you say it stayed low, what does that mean to you? That it was undetectable, or it was just
It was 0.05 or lower.
okay?
And then in June of, and honestly, I retired. I went on Medicare, insurance changed. You don't have the best doctors, all that stuff. The only reason I got a PSA test at all was because I told my GP I had prostate cancer and I should probably have a PSA test. And he said, "Oh, that's a pretty good idea." So my PSA was 13 or something.
Okay, so you don't know really when it started to climb.
Not particularly, no. And it was doubling fairly quickly. So in January of 2024, I had targeted radiation on two lymph. I did a PSMI PET scan.
Okay, we suddenly went.
We spent a couple of years watching it.
So 620, you were at 13.
Yeah.
And what happened? And nobody did anything at that point when it was at 13.
Well, they did a PSMA PET scan, and then but
and nothing showed on the PSMA PET.
No, it's so two lymph nodes, and so we did the. Let's see, must have been 23. I did the radiation, January 23.
Okay, so who was between when you found this 13 and January of 23? Who was managing this disease for you? Your GP?
No, a medical oncologist I was referred to at Todd Cancer Center, Memorial Medical Center. His name is Milan Sheth.
Yeah.
He is not a prostate cancer specialist.
Clearly.
Yes.
So
I'm in the process of trying to figure out how to get my case transferred back to City of Hope so I can go talk to somebody who actually knows what they're talking about.
Okay, so that shouldn't be too difficult. Are you getting grief from City of Hope?
No, not at all. It's because I'm in an HMO, it's just it's just
okay.
Pain in the ass.
So here's the thing: you're in an HMO. If the HMO includes City of Hope in Irvine,
yeah,
we've got somebody to send you to.
Okay.
And if
I'd like that name.
Okay, and
I'm going to find a way somehow to get transferred to City of Hope because anyway, let's carry on and I'll tell you why all of this happens.
Right? Okay, so is your preference to go to Irvine or to Duarte?
Well, there's a City of Hope office here in Long Beach, and that would be my first choice, of course.
Yeah,
but Duarte's fine.
Okay,
it's so not any farther away than Irvine.
Okay, so in that case,
first order, I don't care.
Okay, so in that case, if you don't mind driving to Duarte versus Irvine, I would send you to Tanya Dorff, Dorff,
Okay.
and we'll give her a heads up that you're on your way when you give me the high sign, and that's who I would have treat you. If you want the lady's name in Irvine, I can look it up. I can get it for you. It's on the tip of my tongue.
I went up to City of Hope for a second opinion and was very impressed. The man I met, not young man, I met, he's a hyphenated name, Middle Eastern guy, very smart. So he agreed with the treatment plan from here at Todd Cancer Center. So I started on apalutamide called Erleada on the 6th of July. And
okay, so let me ask you, because this is sort of so you did some radiation in 23.
Correct. And then in 25, I did another PSMA PET scan.
Yes.
And that's the results of that are on that paper that I sent to you. It didn't show anything particularly noteworthy. Okay,
I haven't seen a paper, but it might have been sent this afternoon. I haven't had a chance to look.
That's okay. So the decision was to start with this Erleada stuff and Lupron.
And what was your PSA at that time?
I want to say it was 17.
17. Okay, so he put you on apalutamide, and he didn't put you on Orgovix. He put you on Lupron again.
Yeah, the reason was a Medicare thing. The oral version of Lupron is horribly expensive, and
right. I'm aware.
I don't care about shots. That's fine, whatever.
Okay, but the thing is that you're going to run through it with the apalutamide. So what's the difference? You're going to spend $2,100 on the apalutamide.
Having recognized that now, I have a different opinion. But here we are.
So
okay.
So I would get off of the Lupron and get onto the Orgovix as soon as you can, because it's a much.
I have a meeting with the doc, the Todd Cancer doc, in a few weeks. But like I said, I'm going to try to transfer to.
So you're going to switch now. Where was this double-barreled Eastern oncologist that you saw?
City of Hope in Duarte.
Okay, so you actually have.
But look, if you got a name of a person up there, then we'll go do that if we can.
Okay, but you may not be able to switch. That's why I'm asking.
Okay.
And he may be a more junior guy. You might be able to switch to the lady in Irvine.
All right, we'll do that.
Or I can write to Tanya Dorff and see if she'll take you. But
okay.
Let's see, what's the lady, Jeremy? Let's see if I can give you the name, just so that you know the name of the lady at in Irvine is Liu, Liu.
Okay.
I think, is it Joanna, Jacqueline, something, Sandy Liu, Liu, Sandy Liu.
That's fine. So okay. in the event, I had a terrible reaction to apalutamide.
Yep.
Ended up with pneumonia.
Yep.
Could only start breathing again about yesterday.
Yep.
So I'm still getting over that. So I'm not at the moment taking any. I stopped taking the apalutamide for sure when I was up in Idaho where I met Neil. Anyway, I'm pretty much back to 100% now.
Have you told them?
Yes, of course.
You've reported that as an adverse event, yes?
Yeah. Yes.
To Johnson & Johnson, correct?
No, I have not reported it to Johnson & Johnson. I reported it to my oncologist. I don't know how to report it to Johnson & Johnson.
So
that.
If you look at our reminder, there are instructions at the bottom of the reminder.
Okay.
Or you can go back to your oncologist and have him confirm that he's reported it to Johnson & Johnson. He should have.
Well, I'm happy to do that. It's
okay, but you need, if he waffles, then you tell him it's got to be done. Because he knows it's got to be done, but it's important.
I was in really rough shape by the time I got home from Idaho. Ended up in the ER, you know, kind of.
Okay, so
anyway, so here we are now. The question that I have a question for the group though. So this is where I'm at. My PSA currently is 9. My testosterone is 4.5. It never recovered from Casodex and Lupron and all that stuff. So apalutamide, has anybody had a adverse reaction? And if so, what was the subsequent treatment?
Okay. Anybody been on apalutamide and had to switch?
I was afraid of that.
Yeah. Well, we have had people, most of the time it's a rash.
Yeah, I heard about that.
I don't know of anybody who has had breathing problems. So it might be more unusual.
Yeah, it is listed as a rare potential side effect.
There you go. And you're not on Flomax, right? Are you on Flomax? No, you're not on Flomax. I mean, if it were me, I would be trying a different. I'd be trying a different drug. I might. I mean, abiraterone has a completely different method of action, but you've got to take prednisone with it, so that's a possibility. Or I might try darolutamide, which is our preferred drug here, and see how you do with that.
Darolutamide, okay.
Which is also known as Nubeqa, and I would be talking to your doc about either Nubeqa or abiraterone.
So he was talking about Nubeqa, and then at the last second switched to Erleada. Yeah, and I don't know why, but in any event, I think I need to change hospitals.
I think you do, and I'll tell you what, why don't you, before I write anything and do anything, find out if you can switch your docs within City of Hope at Dwadi.
Okay, I'll do that.
Just don't give them a name. Just ask them if you can switch. And if they say yes, then we'll figure out what to do. If they say no, we'll figure out what to do. Okay.
Well, in any event, I stick with this insurance through the end of the year. And when re-enrollment time comes around in November, I'll change to a PPO, and that'll be that.
Well, if you can change to a PPO, but you're still in an Advantage plan there, and, you know, that's the problem. But if you can get a PPO that will cover you at Dwadi, at City of Hope, that's great. But it's going to be certain City of Hopes and not other City of Hopes. You know what I'm saying?
I'd rather just go to Dwadi. It's the heart of the beast.
Yeah, no, I get it. Okay, questions? Anybody would like to say anything or have any questions? Carl in Indiana.
Rick, this is for you. About 5 minutes ago, you started a sentence and you said, if I were you, I would switch to Orgovic because, and then you got interrupted and the conversation went in a different direction. I was wondering if you can recall what you were going to say.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, we think it's a better drug. If you're going to go on and off the androgen deprivation part of your hormone therapy, you're going to adjust much quicker. Secondly, it's an agonist and not an antagonist, and we seem to think that has better cardio impact. That's a comment that Dr. John can elaborate on. And thirdly, it's easier to take because it's just a daily pill.
Thank you. That's what I'm on Orgovic, and I just wanted to hear what you had to say about that. And you covered it very well.
Okay, thank you.
I don't think that'd be a problem.
Let's see who else has got their hand up. Len.
Yeah, Rick, I just looked up on Google. Yes, apalutamide can cause severe lung disease, but so can darolutamide. So I'm not sure that's a wise switch. And actually, I'm beginning to wonder if it's a lutamide-wide side effects. I'll look that up. But so far, I just looked up those two.
Okay. I didn't ask you, Bob, what sort of genetic testing have you had? Germline, somatic, both, neither?
Both. And there were no genetic markers of interest found. There were 2 genetic markers of unknown impact that were listed. That's,
okay. Do you know what they were?
Not at this moment, but I can look it up.
Okay, but just two VUSs, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, Jeff.
Yeah, 2 things. If you stop your Advantage plan, you will probably find out that it's very difficult to get a supplemental drug insurance or supplemental covering for Medicare B. So you want to look into that before you cancel to see if you can get them, because you have prostate cancer, companies are not required to do it since you've already been on an Advantage plan.
Okay, I'll double check.
All right. Another thing, I just had a guy today had a problem with the breathing problem, and just, a terrible problem breathing with on Nubeqa. And I looked it up, and they're aware of it, and they say it can be due to ischemic heart condition, a heart blockage, or a heart attack, or severe allergic reaction. And I imagine it would be the same in apalutamide.
Yeah,
So,
I don't have any cardio issues at all.
Yeah, it might be an allergic reaction then.
So,
and like Len says, both drugs have the similar warnings. I'm not sure. There is another drug, enzalutamide, and I haven't looked it up. And that.
Okay, Len. I think Len has. Go ahead, Len.
Yeah, I just looked it up. Yes, true for enzalutamide, and it's also true for abiraterone, that these can cause serious lung diseases. The percentages are maybe like 1 to 5%, but
yeah, I mean, had it once.
Common to all of them.
Yeah.
Okay, so in that case, I would say that somebody like a Tanya Dorf is your best bet, because she's either going to have seen it before and has some ideas how to work around it, or she's going to have the resources at City of Hope to have you do some testing to try and figure out what's causing this.
Okay. Well, I'll get on the ball tomorrow and get that.
All right. I got to move on because we've only got 2 guys, and we've still got one more new guy to take. So I'm sorry to rush you through this. David Lead, are you there?
I am. Yes.
Okay. And hold on a minute. I'm just writing the date here. David Lead. And how old are you, David?
71.
Okay. Do we have your email? Have you signed up with us?
Minutes before this call.
Okay, that's fine. But you're on there, so that's great. Are you a veteran?
No.
Okay. Hey, Jim Marshall, sorry about that. You struck out today. 0 for 3. Where are you located, David?
Wexford, Pennsylvania. It's a suburb of Pittsburgh.
Okay. And how did you hear about us?
Paul Simmons is an acquaintance of mine. He told me about the group.
I think that vaguely rings a bell from a long time ago. But you're very welcome to be here. How were you diagnosed? When were you diagnosed? And what type of doc diagnosed you?
So I was diagnosed in 2021, February of 2021, through a biopsy. or I'm sorry, through a regular exam by my urologist who felt a nodule
Right.
in the digital rectal exam. That led to a biopsy, and I had a Gleason of 9.
Is that 4 + 5 or 5 + 4?
I knew you were going to ask me. I actually don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
I should, I guess.
Yes, it would be a good thing to look up. And what was your PSA?
So I was on dutasteride
Yep.
for an enlarged prostate before this, and
Yeah.
my PSA wasn't that high. I think it was around, at that point, maybe just a little bit over 4 or 5. But my urologist told me it was artificially low because of the dutasteride.
Yeah. No, we got it. We got it. You have to double it. So that's good. If your PSA was like 4 or less with a 4 + 5 or a 5 + 4, we would be more concerned. If it was up around 10, we're less concerned, because that would be relatively normal. Anything unusual came out in your in that biopsy about your cancer?
He said it was high grade and it was aggressive. And then I actually went to a different urologist because that urologist couldn't do surgery, and I wanted to consider both surgery and radiation at that point.
Okay, and so did they do a PSMA scan?
Not then. I've since had one.
Okay.
They did a bone scan.
Okay.
Yeah,
and that was negative, right?
It was.
Okay. And so then what treatment did you opt for?
So I did a prostatectomy, and that was in the end of March of 2021. And my PSA 3 months later, first one, was great. It was a 0.02. And I stayed in a 0.02 to a 0.05 range until last year. So since 2021 through 2025, I had my highest PSA was 0.05 at the earlier part of last year, but then it rose.
Okay, so let me ask you: was the biopsy, was the pathology after your surgery any different from the pathology before your surgery?
The only thing I know is that he said that the cancer did not stay in the prostate, so it had escaped.
Okay, where was it?
Well, he didn't indicate where it was, but I think the assumption was that it was in the prostate bed, and that again was back in 2021.
But they didn't do any follow-up treatment because your PSA was low. Is that right?
Yeah, my PSA stayed low, so there was no other treatment.
Okay. So we're now through to 25, and in 2025, your PSA starts to climb. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so it tripled from about June of last year to December. And so I had a PSMA scan in, I think it was August or September, and that came back negative. So they didn't see any cancer, but my PSA kept rising.
To what?
So I did,
to what level?
To 0.13.
Okay.
And so I did, my urologist recommended that I see an oncologist, which I did. And the oncologist recommended that I have radiation, although he said, even though your scan doesn't show it, because of...
Okay, time out. Did he send you to a radiation oncologist, or did he send you to a medical oncologist?
Radiation oncologist.
Okay, and the radiation oncologist said, let's radiate. And was he at Hillman, or was he somewhere else?
Well, yes, he's at UPMC.
He was.
Yeah, so it was through UPMC.
Okay, so do you remember his name, the radiation oncologist?
Yeah, Dr. Ryan Smith.
Okay. Have you seen a medical oncologist there?
No.
Okay. Leonard Appelman is our man there.
Okay. I'm gonna write that down.
And I think I do know of Ryan Smith, but you know, it's interesting. So did they, well, let me step back. Did they do radiation?
No. So here's what happened to me. I was scheduled for radiation, and the day before I was to have that start, I had a detached retina. So I had to get emergency surgery on my retina, and I had to call Dr. Smith and say, I got to delay this. In the meantime, it took me about 3 weeks of recovery for the retina. And in that 3 weeks, I decided I'm going to get another PSA because I could. So I did, and the PSA dropped. And so
to what level?
It went, at that point, it went down to 0.07. So almost in half. Okay. And that was it. That was on January. No, that was at the very end of December.
Okay. So, and where is it right now?
It's at 0.12.
Okay. So a couple of things. The reason you didn't get much of a response from the PSA at 0.13 was probably because your PSA wasn't high enough. We really rarely see anything under 0.15. Sometimes we do, but it's unusual. So you got to let that PSA climb. Secondly, you want to get direction from a genitourinary medical oncologist. And like I said, we'd send you to Appelman and tell him AnCan sent you because he knows us.
Okay.
We are not, you won't be his first AnCan patient.
And he's at Hillman?
He's at Hillman.
Okay.
Right. So that's what we would say. And then start taking his guidance.
Okay.
All right. If you think that you need a PSMA, if you think you might need radiation, ask Appelman first and let him direct you back to Smith or whoever he wants to direct you to. But he should be your quarterback at this point. I mean, it's really good news that your PSA dropped. Who knows why? But, you know, that I would say Appelman is your man. Do you have any questions for us?
Well, the other question I had really was how long should I wait? It's down, but it's almost back to where it's high point, but it's still under 0.2, which seems to be the number that a lot of doctors use.
I don't think, I mean, if it were me, I wouldn't be that worried, especially with a history like yours, if I waited until it rose to at least 0.2. And the problem with doing it with less is that we don't see anything, and then you have to get another PSMA, and your insurance gives you grief and what have you. So, you know, if you jump the gun and you don't get a result, you can finish up in a more difficult situation.
Yeah, I realize that. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted some guidance, because I'm getting another PSA done next week. And that's, I do have another question is, how frequently do you, because I've had doctors tell me different things, to wait between PSAs?
I'm glad you asked, because I was going to address that. How often are you getting them right now?
Every 3 months.
every 3 months is not that bad. It's not like you have a bad history. If you want to be a little more conservative, you could go every 6 weeks. But let me ask my esteemed co-moderators here, Len and Dr. John, what would you do? Dr. John, we haven't even heard from you. Are you still awake there? Are you, Dr. John, are you better, first of all?
Huh? I'm still coughing a little at night, but I'm a lot better.
Okay.
This is not, despite the fact that we have Gleason grade 5 pathology, this is not a runaway freight train. So I think quarterly PSAs would be acceptable.
Okay, thank you.
Leonardo, anything you would like to add?
I guess I agree with Dr. John, but personally, I get mine done every 6 weeks just because why not?
And because we should add, Len is not a tremendously anxious person and he lives with it very well. So if you're not an anxious person, David, okay, every 6 weeks.
I want to make sure that I'm leaving enough time that if it's moving in one direction or the other, that I get a good reading. So that's why I'm asking. And I know it's still low, but just hearing everybody's story here has really been good and helpful to me. I'm trying to do whatever I can to avoid radiation. I don't want to have to do that, but I know someday I might need that.
Okay, so we've got one hand up, and then I really want to get to questions because we're a little bit late. Yes, Jim Marshall.
Yes, I get it for the last 9+ years, every 30 days, including testosterone. And all of the liver and the CBC and the WBC chemistry panel, etc.
Yeah, but you were a Kaiser, Jim. You were.
Well, yes, that's true. But as I say,
it's not,
if I can.
Yeah, but it's not a fair comparison because Kaiser will do that for you, and a lot of other people won't.
If they will, they will. If they won't, they won't.
Okay, Dr. Alfredo.
Just chiming in, mine is every 3 months, and I'm fine with it.
Okay. Okay. If there isn't anything else, I would like to move on because I want to get round everybody who wants time for questions, and I think we'll be here a little late. And thank you, Steve L. I've taken you under advisement. So, Frank Chambra, bring us up to date, man.
Can I tell you? I'm over here, just tell. Yeah, my wife's going to explain everything.
I'm going to say it because I promise I'll be quick. So Frank's PSA, was 135 after his cabazitaxel number 4. He had number 5 cabazitaxel 3 weeks ago. He was scanned last Thursday. All of his scans, though, are stable. There's no new cancer on the CT of the chest, abdomen, pelvis, and the bone scan. There's nothing new. It says stable. And we have an appointment in Virginia in 2 weeks for the clinical trial that you so graciously helped us find. So we see Dr. I think it's Spirea, August 18th. So that's where we're at. And we see oncology Wednesday this week for blood work and everything.
So hold on a minute, because I gotta catch up with you, Miss Glam. So what we were at 135. When was that? When was it at 135?
3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago. So that's like July. We were at 135. And what are we right now?
That was July 15th. We will get tomorrow or Wednesday, we go for more blood work.
Okay, so we don't really know, but we do know that the scans were stable.
Everything's stable. There was no new mets. There wasn't even, because the scans 6 weeks ago showed slight progression on his bone scan. This one, they say there's a lot of cancer, but they're all stable, nothing new, no progression.
Okay, and remind me, because I can't go back to my notes right now, and I foolishly never wrote it down, which was the Virginia trial, because we talked about so many.
That's the VIR-5500.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Al
we love that one. Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah. So
Okay.
at least we got so at least we get to go. The one in Cincinnati, the BNT324, that one, he's over, right? He can't, that's not an option right now.
Okay. So for those wondering why I am so enthusiastic about the VIR 5500, and probably Len and Dr. John will remember. Well, Dr. John will definitely remember, because he was sitting in the room when they threw up those scans from the VIR 5500, the before and after, and everybody gasped. That was the trial that DeBono presented back in February at GU ASCO, which looked pretty remarkable. And so that would be truly exciting if we could get you into that VIR 5500. Right,
So,
Dr. John?
Oh yeah, I've been kind of racking my brains for ideas for Frank. So I'm glad to hear about this.
But I mean, you never know once we get there, but at least we're going. They've looked at his records and said, yes, you could potentially qualify.
That's great. And what about your local guy? What does he say about it?
We just found out Friday that we got an appointment. So we see him Wednesday. We're gonna go over all of it with him Wednesday.
Okay. Well, I mean, we'll just keep our fingers crossed. That would be fantastic. Somebody wrote me, I have to go back and look in my notes, and said that they were looking at it. Oh, I think it was Al Latimer who was looking at it.
Yes, he has an appointment today there.
Oh, okay. Let me know. He'll let me know, but please let me know.
Yeah.
But yes, Al Latimer was looking at it, and it is a bloody remarkable trial. So you can probably find the abstract. I'm sure if you Google VIR 5500.
I looked at it.
Yeah, you'll see the abstract.
Yeah.
Well, Frank, my man, this is really great news. Where will you be in Virginia?
Fairfax, Virginia.
In Fairfax.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's close to some of our Virginians who are here. So I'll let them reach out to you directly through the chat window. But yes, that would be absolutely great news if we can get you into that VIR 5500 trial. Any questions from anybody? I'm moving quite quickly, so. Cool.
Thank you.
No questions. No questions. So we're going to go to Avery next. Avery.
Just a quick update. When I was here the last time, you recommended I go to Dr. Shannon at Sibley. I reached out to that office and they said that they don't take TRICARE, so they recommended me to TRICARE for Life. So they recommended to Johns Hopkins in Baltimore. I set up a meeting. I did go there. I met with, I want to say her name is Adelie Mandel. And
don't know her.
Yeah. And what I did was I did request Walter Reed to send my pathology report to Dr. Epstein in New York. That was difficult. but I went and we was able to get it done. I got his report. I talked to him. He sent me a copy of that. He pretty much echoed what Walter said, except for one thing. He reduced my Gleason from one of them. I want to say it was the right appendix of the prostate. He reduced it from a 3+5 grade group 4, and he reduced that to a 3+4 7 grade group 2. That was the only thing I can compare.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's I don't know why I'm not quite sure why we stressed, because you have metastatic disease, right? All above your pelvis, shoulder, ribs, sternum.
No. What they said, that's what they said initially, but we did a biopsy of the sternum, came back negative, and nothing in the pelvis. There was nothing in
the pelvis.
Nothing in the pelvis, but they did indicate what the ribs and the shoulder. And when I questioned if it was negative in the sternum, I did ask the question, well, what about, is it positive for the other areas? So what the urologist, Dr. And Walter Reed, Chestnut, he put me on amiodarone and Erleada and the Lupron shots. I got that. Okay. The first one
let me just pause you there for a second, because I'm a little bit confused. Did they do a PSMA scan either before or after your surgery?
It was before.
Okay. And on that PSMA scan, did anything show up?
Yes. It showed, the PSMA showed, I want to say 7 areas. One was 4.4, several was 3, the Gleasons. Several was 3.
Okay, but we can't tell Gleasons from the PSMA. What we can do is we can intuit something from the SUV. So it's the SUV numbers you might be telling me about. We don't usually use Gleason for anything other than what's in the prostate.
Rick, this is John. My notes don't have SUVs, but they say that the PSMA PET scan showed 4 bony metastases. One apparently was biopsied and turned negative afterwards.
That was the sternum.
So, and I'm also very confused why Hopkins at Sibley doesn't say they don't take TRICARE for life. Anybody? Captain Jim does? No, he's shaking his head. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, you recommended that, and I did reach out to the office to try and set up an appointment, because you said I need her as a quarterback, and I was pretty excited about that. But when I reached out, that was what I said, and they recommended me to Johnson's in Baltimore.
Okay, that doesn't make sense, Avery. It doesn't make any sense. Now, she may have not been able to take you. I've got Gary P. and Richard Fisk who want to chime in on that issue. Let's go to Richard Fisk first.
Yes, I am a patient of Dr. Paller's at Sibley and have had no problems or pushback. And I'm on Medicare and TRICARE for life.
Okay. Thank you. And and Gary,
I was going to raise that also because I saw Richard here. I knew he was a patient, and I assume that Jim is using TRICARE, and he's a patient.
The VA community care.
Jim's going through VA community care, so that's a little different. Jim's got about 5 different choices, probably more than anybody else whose picture we have here, but he's got to her. But Avery, it doesn't make sense, and I don't know why they pushed you up to her. Maybe it was, if it was a scheduling issue, then we can write to Dr. Palla and see what we can do for you.
I mean, I'm in Manassas, so I'm only like 30 minutes away. I can actually go to Sibley if that is what I need to do.
Well, the thing is, I don't know who this Mandero is. Anybody look her up? Is she a junior? Is she one of the junior GU medoncs there?
Adele, ADELMANDL. She said she came from, she did some time at Walter Reed. Yeah.
All right, what's her first name?
ADEL.
Adele Mandel.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. MANDL.
You know, I think she's a junior. I think that she doesn't have the experience that Dr. Palla has. And it might be that Dr. Palla's overloaded. She doesn't want to take you. They've sent you up there, but it is not because they don't take TRICARE for life. And that you can hold them say, but you take TRICARE for life. You didn't tell me what was going on, and we can try and get you to Dr. Palla.
Yeah, I mean, I have no problem about that because you guys recommended that, and I can actually go to the hospital and set that appointment up. That was over the phone, and I know sometimes over the phone can't really get a lot of positive results.
Well, I don't know Adele Mandel. Have you actually seen Adele Mandel, or have you just spoken to her on the phone?
No, I went to Johns Hopkins last week, and I showed her all my reports. I made a copy of all my reports from the time I first got diagnosed up until I got the pathology report. And she was pretty impressed with that.
What did she recommend?
The only thing she recommended was the oncologist at Walter Reed said that I should wait 6 to 9 months to start radiation of the prostate. She recommended that the next time I go for that Lupron shot, which is in 3 weeks, to push that up and to do radiation for 24 months and the Lupron shots 24, 36 months.
So again, I don't like, personally, for me, I don't like either of those recommendations that she's talking 24. I would be saying she should be talking to you about 18 to maybe 30. So that's the first thing that concerns me. The second thing is I don't understand why she's telling you to get Lupron shots again. Why don't you get Orgovyx?
Well, that's what Chestnut started me on May 1st, the Lupron shots and the Abiraterone and the PrCa. That's why he started me on May 4th.
But you're getting a Lupron shot. Why are you not getting Orgovyx?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, that's a question I can
So
ask.
that's just what I made to you is that this Mandal, why is she having you get another Lupron shot? Let's get you Orgovyx. It's a much better drug. And you don't have to worry about shots. And, you know, if we can get you off of this, your testosterone's going to come back.
Well, that may be true. I just want to say this, that when Chestnut checked my PSA in March, it was 5.5. And now last week it was 0.08.
Yeah, but it will be because you're on Lupron. That's what it does.
Okay.
So that doesn't say that's you know, we could have put you on Orgovyx and you'd have the same result. And Orgovyx is a better drug. When your PSA drops after going on hormone therapy and especially doublet, that's because that's what those drugs are supposed to do. It doesn't mean that it's cured you or that your cancer is. We hope it will in the long run, but that's the response that we look for. If it wasn't that response, we would be very concerned. But that's that it just means the drug's working, but there are better drugs. And so what we wanted, I mean, I don't know who this Mandala is. Mandal is. She's
That was
probably
just a, yeah, that was just a second opinion. The primary doctor that and oncologist is Dr. Charleston Smith at Walter Reed. He's the oncologist, and they're the ones that started me on this. I just
okay. So I'm really confused. He's the medical oncologist at Walter Reed that you're seeing. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay. So what we suggested to you is to get you butt out of Walter Reed and go and see Channing Pala. Now, that and make her your quarterback, not for a second opinion. Okay? So do your best to get her in charge, and if you need radiation, the gent you need to see at Sibley is Dr. Kurt DeVille. Kirtland DeVille, DeVille. Now, you have to be your best advocate here, because I get the feeling that you're getting a bit of the runaround.
Well, I will go there tomorrow. I don't know.
Okay.
I will go to Sibley tomorrow and find out.
Okay. And Jim, Captain Jim, is it okay if I ask Avery to reach out to you for some guidance here?
Yeah, I was going to say that he should get Walter Reed to refer him to Johns Hopkins on a referral. Okay.
Why does he need that? He's got TRICARE for life.
I know, but and the first time that I called for an appointment, they thought I was TRICARE for life, and it was going to be like 4 months. But if it's a referral, it's taken differently the way I understand.
Okay, so here's what I would suggest, Avery. See what you can find out tomorrow. Be in touch with Captain Jim, veterans@ancan.org. And Jim, maybe you can reach out to Dr. Pala since she's your doc and see how you can help.
Can do easy.
Okay? And if you need radiation, you know, again, we think that it doesn't really matter if you start your radiation within 8 months. So you had your surgery. What date did you have your surgery?
Didn't have surgery. All I had was.
Oh, you didn't have the surgery in the end.
No.
Okay.
I had a TERP in 22.
That's okay, because I'm thinking of Chestnut, but you never did the surgery because
No.
we found all this extra stuff, right?
It was because it was metastatic. He didn't do surgery.
Right. Okay.
I have 2 questions though.
Yes, sir.
Very quickly. You mentioned something about Flomax. I'm taking Flomax and Gentessa. Is that any side effects from taking the abiraterone?
No, abiraterone.
Abiraterone.
So I don't know if there's an interaction between abiraterone and either Vibragon or Flomax. One of the things we found with Flomax is that it does cause shortness of breath, but it's not often reported. So if you're having trouble getting upstairs, it could be a bunch of things, but one of the things could be the Flomax.
Okay, the second one is hot flashes. Jim mentioned something previously about a watch that could potentially
So
let you know when it starts.
Did you get our reminder?
I do.
You did?
Yes.
Click on that wearables link where there's a pink pelican, a pink flamingo. That article right there is all about wearables. And one of the wearables that we reference, and there's a link in there, is called the Ember Watch, EMBR. Somebody's waving their hand at me. I think it's David. David's waving the Ember Watch at you. It is one option for you to consider, Avery.
Yeah, I'll definitely do that.
Okay, so the Ember Watch is a possibility. There's a bunch of other things that are possibilities, but yes, it's EMBR.
Okay. Jim, I'll reach out tomorrow.
Okay, so you want to get hold of Jim, and you want to sort this out, but your man for radiation is Kurt DeVille. I can put his link in the chat window. He comes really well recommended. Kirtland DeVille, and I'm putting him in right now. But we really want to get you with a better. I just put it in. I didn't put Kirtland DeVille at the top, but okay. You'll see his name in there. And we really would like to see you with a stronger medical oncologist.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, Len, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I just looked up drug interactions with tamsulosin, which is Flomax, and Abi, and it says that Abi may increase blood levels and the effects of Flomax, so it can cause blood pressure to fall. He could have dizziness, lightheadedness, fainting, headache, flushing, heart palpitations. So there's a concern there, I would say. Have you been feeling dizzy at all, Avery?
No, I have not. I go to the fitness center 3 times a week, play golf. I maintain it. Only thing I do is I do feel tired, and I just manage that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, but let's try and get you sorted out. And since Jim Marshall is a patient of Dr. Palla, that's our inside track here. Well, we've got other people who are patients of Dr. Palla, but for now, that's Jim Marshall's our inside track, because he'll be helping you. He'll help you along the way to get this sorted out. But this TRICARE for life. That Sibley doesn't take it is a bunch of you know what.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Jeff Markey, did you ask me for time? No. Okay. So, Joe Siri, what's going on?
Thanks, Rick. I'll be brief. On August 10th, I wrote you this, that I start the IGRT and the VMAT radiation therapy for, it looks like 6 weeks, although I counted 5, and it should end in the middle of September, every weekday. And I'm still on the Lupron and still on the abiraterone, and the last blood test, everything was still undetectable.
Okay, I mean, that's exactly how it should be. So do you have any questions for us?
Has anyone had the radiation therapy, and should I be asking them something? In 2 days, I go for the planning episodes, so or meeting before everything starts. So I'm hoping to get a look at the CT scan that I had 2 weeks ago.
Okay, and this is all through Kaiser, correct?
That's right, Kaiser Anaheim Radiation Oncology Clinic.
Right. So anybody want to give Joe some comfort, given where he is? There's a bunch of you who have been through this before. Hands are up, and looks like Leonardo. Thanks, Len.
He's muted, I think.
That was up from last time, Rick. What is
Rick, I'll take a whack at it if you want.
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Alfredo.
Joe, if I understand your question, tell me if I'm going down the wrong track. When you say you're going to do the preparation stuff, I'm thinking what you're referring to is they're going to put 3 BBs, 3 little metal pellets in your prostate?
No, I've had a prostatectomy, so
You have? Okay.
this is a recurrence in the in one of the lymph nodes closer to the abdomen, which is larger, as well as in some of the pelvic lymph nodes.
And you did not have radiation previously after your prostatectomy?
I did in the pelvic bed.
Same,
the same radiation oncologist.
So now they're targeting the node, then?
Yes.
Got it. Okay. Well, you know what to expect. It's going to be just like last time.
Right.
I mean, really, you lie down in the big machine.
Right. Oh yeah, right.
How many treatments?
6 weeks, it looks like. It ends
5
in
days.
September 16th.
5 days a week for 6 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It should be pretty straightforward. I can't imagine, unless someone else has an idea, I don't think it's going to be any different than what you had last time. Same drill.
Thank you.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that. It's more of the same, Joe. Anybody else have anything they want to say to Joe before we move on?
Yeah, Rick, I'd like to ask Joe. You mentioned they're going to be targeting a lymph node in the abdominal region.
Somewhere outside of the pelvic, toward the abdomen.
Okay, ask them if you'll have any GI side effects from that treating that particular node.
Yeah, I did ask him. Yeah, and yeah, diarrhea, if I can use that term. It could be a possibility.
That's allowed.
So, Dr. John?
You're muted, John.
Is he muted?
I was curious whether you happen to know your total dose of radiation during your first radiation treatment.
That was almost 10 years ago, and no, simple answer.
Okay. I'm just wondering, I mean, they use higher doses now, and in my imagination, you might have gotten a lower dose than you're going to get this time, or a lower dose than was used before. So thank you.
Right. And I guess by modern standards, or what would I call IGRT and VMAT standards, it's much more accurate than it was 10 years ago.
Oh, yeah. Radiation therapy has come a long way in 10 years.
Thanks.
So from what I understand, and I may be wrong on this, but the VMAT is just a type of IGRT machine.
Right.
It's not the separate, I mean, it's VMAT, which is, you know, it has the ability, I think, to change the amount of the dose as it's radiating. It's more flexible on that, I think, but I'm not sure. I'm not very good on the technology side of radiation. I do want to come back to Avery for a second, Avery, because I was going down a line thinking you had not had radiation. I do think that she's right, that you should be meeting with Dr. DeVille sooner rather than later. And for goodness sake, if they turn around and say to you that you're on TRICARE for life, so you can't see Dr. DeVille, you tell us right away, because there's something really wrong. And the other thing is that when you see Dr. DeVille, have a good discussion with him about the field of radiation, whether he thinks he should be treating just the primary right now, because if you are clearly metastatic, it's sort of controversial what field they treat. He may just decide to treat the prostate and the prostate bed. He may decide to treat a wider area than that, but there should be a discussion around that.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I just wondered, I also wonder about if the sternum was negative, the other areas they identified, how can they determine if they were positive or negative?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. I mean, one of the things they can do, there's several things they can do. They can, first of all, look at the SUVs. If the SUVs were very high, then that's going to tell. So you really need to know what the SUVs are of what he's targeting, because I'm assuming they are talking to you about doing some spot radiation.
The only thing that they was talking about was doing the prostate and not the other areas.
Okay, then it's exactly the reverse, which is really interesting because they normally wouldn't do the prostate right now because you're metastatic. We have to push people back to get that debulking, and it usually doesn't happen for a longer period of time. So you've got two things to be talking about. One is the spot radiation to those spots, and your exact point are, do we know if there are really spots there? The only real way to know is to biopsy them. But, you know, DeVille, I think you can rely on. And then the other issue, which is debulking, which might not be needed so quickly because they tend to wait a little longer. But again, it doesn't hurt for you to get in and start speaking to Dr. DeVille right now.
Okay, one of the things that, and I don't want to take the time, but one of the things that the oncologist at Walter Reed said in his report was, and this is the reason that it concerned me, and he said, review TX plan, treatment plan, and possible risks, i.e., if the rib lesions are benign, we are radically overstaging him.
Right.
It just brought me, it just concerned me. It may be standard language, but it just concerned me that if
it's not. This is why your case is a little complicated. We don't exactly know what's there. Okay. You had these lesions show up in a number of places on your PSMA scan, but we don't know if they're truly lesions because the sternum turned out to be negative. Now, do you know what those SUVs were in all those other places?
I don't want to take the time, but I do have it here in my.
Okay. Maybe we'll come back to you. Take a look, and we'll come back to you in in 10 minutes or so, and see if we can find out. But we do need to know that. And then, yes, we could be overstaging you if, in fact, you don't have any lesions. And this is where the issue is. And this is why I'd like to get an opinion of a DeVille and a Channing Palla.
Would the SUV be in the PSA PET?
Yes, in the PSMA PET scan, it should report the SUVs.
Okay.
All right. So we'll leave you as unfinished business right now, and we will go to Joe Commander. Are you with us, Joe Commander?
Yeah, sorry. I have a simple question. I went off Orgovix and darolutamide in April. So I'm on a drug holiday right now. It's been a little over 3 months. About a month ago, I can't be real precise, my nipples started to be painful if I touch them. If I don't touch them, no problem. It's not a big problem, but it really surprised me because I'm off the drugs.
Yeah.
Any experience with that? We don't have to spend a lot of time on this.
Okay, so we do have experience. I'm going to go to a couple of people like Mr. Muslin in a second. And we have other people, they'll put their hand up. But what is happening is that for all that time that you were on that doublet you were on, I can't remember, what was the doublet you were on?
Orgovix and darolutamide.
And darolutamide. So I had you on a different doublet to begin with. Did you switch to that one or not? I can't remember.
No, that was it.
Okay. So all the time that you were there, that was working to drop your estrogen as well as your testosterone. But it takes more time for some of these things to work through. So what you're this is a side effect more related to blocking the estrogen, which may take some time to come back. Mr. Muslin, would you like to say anything about this nipple pain after you're off the doublet?
You pretty much said it all, Rick. I experienced the same thing, Joe. And at this point, you've already been on it, so I don't, you can, before you get on darolutamide, a lot of people radiate their breasts so they don't grow, but it's part of the program, Joe. So hopefully it'll go away now that you're off of it. When did you get off of it, Joe?
April 15th or so.
So it's I think it'll eventually go away. Love to hear what other people have to say, especially Len.
Len doesn't even have his hand up, so I'm going to have to pick on him. Neil, you have your
Why is my
hand up.
hand going up? I'm not putting it up.
No, you don't have your hand up.
Oh, okay.
Neil, go ahead.
Yeah. So I was on Orgovix only, and that happened to me. I went to the endocrinologist at UCSF, and she said that there'd been a buildup of some material, but it did go away by itself. But again, it was just on Orgovix, and I was on it about 13 months.
Okay, and how long did it take to go away?
Well, probably about 4 months. I don't remember the exact date, but it was about 4 months. And she did give me the options of radiation, and they even do some surgery if you want, but I said no because there wasn't that much buildup of material in the breast. So I just stopped, and it was fine.
And it's gone, and are you back to normal, or where are you?
Yep, back to normal and just fine. And that was about a year ago.
Okay, that's good news. Anybody else? I won't pick on. I'm not going to pick on Len, but does anybody else want to say anything?
You can pick on me, Rick, because I was just going to say, I was similar situation to Joe. I was on drug holiday, I think much longer than Joe, maybe, I don't know, 6 months or more. And I developed a little nipple tenderness. I went and had the breast radiated. I think it was 3 treatments, 3 sessions. And shortly thereafter, the nipple pain disappeared. So maybe that's your answer. Get your breast radiated.
Okay, you may have to go see Dr. Gatalia, and isn't that who's calling the shots for you, Joe? Is it still
Dr. Gatalia? Yeah, I'll be talking to her in a couple of weeks.
I mean, it's really just a single session.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose the other thing is that since I see Larry's hand up, I won't steal his thunder. Go ahead, Larry.
In addition to radiating the breast to limit growth and address the nostalgia, you can also have an operation to sever the nerve that feeds that pain.
Yeah, I mean, but that's. I thought you were going to say, why don't you use an estrogen patch for a low dose estrogen patch for a little while?
That's more likely to give you the breast growth.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that the solution that we are honing down on, which might work for you, is a shot of radiation, or at the most 2, if it's bothering you.
Or you can just accept it as a sign of a successful treatment for prostate cancer.
I'm satisfied with the answers presented to me, and you can move on. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, we've given you some things to think about. All right, Dr. John, you're not getting away scot-free. We all want to know what the heck is going on with you and when we're going to get to the bottom of all this pain that you've been going through. Because we love you in this group, and we want to help you as much as you want to help us.
Well, I'm trying to think of a way to do this really fast. What happened, I've been non-detectable for several years, and now I'm just starting to get very low PSA levels, like 0.014. At the same time, I've developed left pelvic pain gradually increasing over 3 months and getting to be a real hassle. I did get a bone scan out of this sluggish Canadian system, which I've sent to my oncologist and haven't gotten a comment yet, but there was no obvious bony metastasis there. And that's the current situation.
But I know you've had a bone scan, and then you went for an ultrasound, right? What were they looking at in that ultrasound?
See if there was an inguinal hernia.
Oh, I see.
It's too bad we don't have Russell here. We'd have a surgeon that I could talk
Well,
to.
But
I don't have a result yet on that.
Oh, okay. When can we? What's your latest PSA? Still 0.14?
Yep.
Okay. Well, no later than 0.2, we want you to get a PSMA scan.
Even Petrolac would probably do that. My reluctant medical oncologist for the rest of you guys.
Wait a minute, John, didn't you say 0.014 was the PSA?
Yeah, what did Rick say? 0.14?
0.14.
No, 0.014.
Okay, so what we're really looking at here then is some pelvic pain that we don't know the source of. Is that right?
Yes.
And it's getting worse.
Yep.
And is it at the back or the front of the pelvis? Where is the pain?
Just to the left of the pubic bone.
I mean, one of the things I'm thinking of, especially with Jimmy on the call, I think Jimmy's still on the call. Could it be AUS related?
It's in the same location as the reservoir. I mean, I could see that, AUS reservoir on the ultrasound as the guy did the scan.
Mm-hmm.
And the surgery did cast some ultrasound shadows that made some areas difficult to visualize.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see why it couldn't,
Jimmy, are you still with us or did you go? Can't see on the screen. I think he might have left. We went back and forth with Jimmy's urologist for the longest time to figure out if it was AUS related.
We sure did.
Yeah, he's not here, Rick.
No. I think the only thing I'd say to you on that, John, is, maybe reach out to the AUS surgeon and ask him if he thinks it could be related, if you haven't asked him already.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll do that. I'm going to see him as soon as I get back to the States, but that's not till November.
Well, that's right. And that's my concern.
Yeah.
That's my concern. So, and like I said, if we have to grease the wheels at UW, we'd be happy to do it. You know that.
Okay.
So, what is it? 3 hours to you, Dub?
Yeah. I might be able to get in to see Kim Chi.
Oh, that would be good.
Which would be very good.
Yeah,
I'm working on that now.
Yeah, I think I know how you're doing that. Gary, what thoughts do you have?
I emailed John and had a bunch of hernias myself. I forgot if I'd asked you this, John, but are you able to get an MRI now of those areas that were unclear in the ultrasound?
I don't know whether I can do that. Certainly I can do that when I get back.
But not now?
No, not that I haven't really gotten into this system up here yet.
And how easy would it be for you to see somebody in Seattle?
Not that difficult. I have discovered that if I have an order from a Canadian doctor, I can go to Washington Imaging Center and get things done.
Because an MRI can, I don't know about the AUS, but for the hernia, it can be more definitive than the ultrasound.
Now, I did get turned down for an MRI back in Connecticut several months ago because they took a flat plate. They took a plain X-ray and found a small piece of metal in the AUS, which I didn't know was there, in the little pump. But we've had a very extensive discussion about MRIs and metal in these last several months, and I don't really think it's an absolute contraindication, particularly a lower magnet strength.
Yeah, it depends on the individual MRI machine. And some I'm sure it would work with some, but it's an issue to make sure you resolve ahead of time.
Yeah. Jimmy, is there any metal in your AUS, either of the three pieces?
I don't think we have Jimmy.
Yeah,
Unless he just... Oh, yes, he's back.
Oh, he came back.
I came back because I knew I was needed for the discussion. So,
It's like Clarence coming to save Jimmy Stewart.
anything for John? No metal.
I didn't think I did either, but I saw the X-ray. It was there.
Not that I should that I know of, I should say. It's not supposed to be a component of it, I don't think.
No.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you guys. I will continue to pursue all these diagnostic possibilities.
Right.
I was just going to say, if you can easily do this in Seattle, I would try to do that rather than waiting until November.
Yeah, no, we've talked to him about that. He's got that message, Gary.
Okay.
We've been hammering away at him on that one for a while. Just saying.
Thank you, Gary.
Thanks.
Gary and I are sort of twinsies in terms of our history, so we often see how each other's doing because it's so similar.
Okay. All right. I'm keeping on rolling here. It's 7:06 and I've still got quite a few people to go. At least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Excuse me, Rick. Excuse me, Rick. Richard Fisk, hand up.
Okay. Yes, Richard.
Yes, the AUS, I took a quick look and it is MRI conditional.
Yeah.
I have a Eurolift, which is MRI conditional, which means that I can take up to 3 Tesla in an MRI. So I think if you poke around with that looking for that kind of thing, you'll find what the Tesla limit is for your model of AUS.
Thank you. Yes, I will. Yeah, I have a reference that Andy came up with in our other group, and I did look it up, and I did get that same exact thing that you just said, Richard. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to keep on running here, and I think I've got 5 people if I take out the 2 perhapses. Robert. Still with us, Robert? Oh, we just lost Len. Is Robert still with us or not? Dr. John, would you make notes of the people that are leaving who wanted time today so we can do them next week, get to them at the front next week? Robert A is one, Steve L is another, and Bruce S is another.
Okay.
Okay, thank
I
you.
will see you guys next week if Rick doesn't get to you today.
Okay. Jeff G.
Oh, hey guys.
Hey.
Thanks, Rick. Yeah, quick. I pretty much have an answer to my question, but I'm going in for my first PSMA PET scan next week since the original one back a year ago that showed my lymph node involvement. And that's going to be at City of Hope up with Dr. Bryce, who I thank you for the referral to, Rick.
Right.
It's just I met with my local guy who, I've become attached to here at Tucson Medical Center, who said the PSMA is totally unnecessary. He made it clear that he was a PSA only guy, and that if I've been undetectable, less than 0.01 for 4 months now of monthly PSA tests, that he just didn't agree with the GU. So, the answer to the question is just go for the PSMA PET scan. But if anybody has any other thoughts, I'm open to that.
I think what you need to do with this fella at TMC, who's a PSA guy, is present him with the Andrew Armstrong research, and say, why you may not agree with it, but there's research that says that we can't depend on PSA entirely. What's the name? Oh, Len's just left, and the name of the trial starts with an A. Has gone out of my mind for the second. Arches, yeah. So you need to go to him and ask him about that. It kind of bothers me, Jeff, that these docs who don't stay on top of the science discourage stuff like this, because if they read it, then they might have a different idea. But my guess is he's never even heard of the Armstrong, all the work that Armstrong's done on the Arches trial. And there's 2 papers out on it already. And this is one of the reasons why we don't love people seeing docs who aren't GU medical oncologists, because it's impossible for them to, in their defense, it's impossible for them to keep up on the literature. How long have you been on? When was your last PSMA?
September 5th last year.
And how long have you been on these drugs?
I was on for 7 months starting in September, and I've been on holiday since April.
And how long ago did Dr. Bryce order the PSMA?
I've been dragging my feet on that one. Sorry, it must have been in June.
So was that around the time you came off?
Yeah, no, I came off in April.
Well, my bottom line is, even up against Bryce's advice versus your local gent here, I'd stick with Alan Bryce every day of the week. That's what I would say.
Okay, cool.
Anybody else have an opinion on that? No? No opinions, no other opinions. Dr. John, you're still there. What are you thinking? Would you do it or would you not do it?
If insurance would pay for it, I'd do it.
There you go. So
I totally missed the PrCa 2 result. I had to bring that up. So,
Oh, okay. He totally missed that you were BRCA too. You may like this guy at TMC, but I'd dump him.
Okay. It's getting more and more clear. It's just, you form a relationship over a year. And anyway, that's, I stick to the science. And
well, you can form a relationship, but if the doctor's not giving you good advice, and if he doesn't even realize that you've been diagnosed BRCA 2, what sort of a doctor is this?
He ordered the test.
He ordered the test, and he hasn't even said a word to you about being BRCA 2 positive?
Well, not until I brought it up.
Oh, I see.
Last week.
Well, there's your answer.
And he still said he didn't agree about. Yeah, I think he's trying to let me go. Actually, there's some conflict. So not to take any more time, Rick. It's been really
okay. Well, we don't want to. We don't need. We want to make sure you get the best treatment, and I don't think. And plus the fact that clearly he doesn't have a lot of respect for Dr. Bryce, which also bothers me.
Yeah.
I mean, he should know who he is.
I think he said he's shared patients with him before. They know each other. But,
okay. Well, he could learn a lot from following what Dr. Bryce is advising you, rather than advising against what Dr. Bryce is advising you. That's my view. And if I ever meet him, I would be happy to tell him that. Richard, Mr. Fisk.
Yes, sir. Issue is ongoing fatigue and weakness. I am working out with weights for an hour or so, 3 times a week roughly, and followed by a 500-yard swim. But feeling a little better, but not much. PSA is remaining at 0.014, as it has been for a couple of years. I'm 19 months out of ADT, and a year ago, my free testosterone was 1.0. This June, it was 2.1, and the range is 6.6 to 18. Testosterone serum is also low. My luteinizing hormone is 30.5, and the range is 1.7 to 8.6. And FSH is 55 with a range 1.5 to 12.4. So basically the pituitary is hammering the testicles, which aren't responding and not producing testosterone. As I say, the workouts are helping a bit. The question is, would supplemental testosterone be appropriate?
Well, it's what I would suggest you discuss with your medical team. It's exactly what I'd say.
Dr. Paller said she would want to wait at least 2 years after completing hormone therapy.
And how long in are you?
19 months.
I think you got your answer right there, Richard. I mean, you know, if it sounds to me like your testosterone is not recovering and that the fatigue is down to this lack of testosterone, but there could be other things. And there's something in the back of my mind I read recently, and I can't think what it was, about cancer fatigue, and I'll try and find it afterwards and send it to you. But I mean, the elephant in the room here is testosterone replacement. And if Dr. Pallas says you got to wait 24 months, we ain't going to argue with her. I would have said, you know, ask your team, and I think Dr. Pallas is as good as anybody.
I guess what I'm asking is the risk of recurrence with supplemental testosterone.
I don't think anybody knows.
Okay.
I don't think anybody knows what the risk of recurrence is. If we knew, we'd use it a lot more regularly. Larry, you have your hand up.
Yes, thank you. It takes a while for your testosterone produced by your own testicles to come back, and you don't want to short-stop that process by giving yourself a supplemental unless it truly is not coming back. And if it is not coming back, then yeah, the testosterone replacement for the rest of your life is an option. The danger of re-triggering prostate cancer growth is, in my medical opinion, minimal. You just watch it. But that's the same danger that you have with letting your natural testosterone come back. So that's my opinion.
In your opinion, what would be a reasonable time, given that I'm working my butt off for testosterone to recover?
About 2 years. Are you consuming enough red meat, and your diet and exercise is optimal?
I believe it is. I'm close to med diet and 1 or 2 protein drinks a day to make sure I'm getting enough protein, and I'm drinking it right as I'm finishing my workout.
That's good. That's good. Just if you have access to a dietitian or an endocrinologist, you can get a second opinion from the endocrinologist and be reassured about what you're doing. But I think 2 years is about right.
Okay, then that answers my questions.
How long? There's a lot of factors into, about 2 years. One of those factors is how long you were on the hormone therapy, on the ADT for. How long were you on the ADT?
24 months.
Okay. Your age is an important factor as well. It bothers me when we say, well, 2 years is about right, when we don't have all of the factors which go into the equation. You're 78, aren't you?
79, and I recognize that all this could be age-based.
Right. So, you're 79, you were on, you look fantastic. You're probably, because you're working your little high knee off, but your testosterone ain't coming back. And a lot of that has to do with that you were on for 2 years. You weren't on for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
The old rule that I had, but then I was a lot younger, was twice the time that you're on. So it could take you 4 years. At the same time, is it reasonable to supplement? It might well be reasonable. Jimmy, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking, first of all, Richard, you know what your testosterone was when this all started? Baseline diagnosis, anything like that?
Baseline was something like 290.
290.
So it was low to begin with.
It was low to begin with. Okay, that's a factor right there.
Great point, Jimmy. Great point.
That's low to begin with. So if you were 290, you're diagnosed at 70-something years old. What was it?
76.
76, and you're diagnosed that low, and I'm not calling you any names, but that's low. Now you're pushing 80 and you're waiting, and you got 7 more months to go before to where the doctor's target is. I would be, to follow Larry's advice a little bit, with or without professional guidance, I would be monitoring not only my workouts and try to slowly, progress, even though you're older. See if you can, slowly, progressive resistance is the name of the game. Too easily when you lift, you hit a plateau and you just kind of sit there and think it's okay. You've been on ADT. You need to really, push if you can safely. The other thing is keep a track of your protein. Keep track of how much you're eating. You say I put a drink in and I do it after my workout and I have this and that. Go ahead and I would keep track of the number of grams of protein you're eating daily. The older we get, pretty much is shown, the more that you need. If you're working out, you need a little bit more still. But most of all, I would say if I was your age and I was getting, I'd give it to 7 months. I'd be training for that 7-month mark like it's the Olympics. And then you get to have, a chance at supplemental testosterone, or maybe yours comes back. But at that point, I don't know. I'm not that old yet. I'm a mere pup at 70. But if I was pushing 80 and I was in your position, I would think pretty freely about replacement, because 60 is still the new 40, but 91 is still the new 90. So once you get to a certain age, it's not going to make any difference. You should live as well as you can. You do look great, and I would say you should get back on the horse any way you can get it. That's not my professional opinion. That's my personal opinion.
No, I agree with you. As it gets too easy, I'm putting another 5 pounds on
excellent.
all the exercises, and just trying to go to failure on the 3rd set.
Yeah, that's only 7 months you have to wait. In 7 months you have like a potential, either it comes back or you get to supplement. I use that as some inspiration. Not that you necessarily need it, but if you feel like you're spinning your wheels a little bit and it's not happening, that's a nice thing to shoot for.
Jimmy, I know math isn't your best subject, but I think he said he'd been on for 19 months. Did you say 19 months, or do I have to eat humble pie here, Richard?
On 19 months out.
19 months out, and he had to wait 24 months. Right. Right.
So, if you listen to me and then 5 months comes, you're like, wow, it's here sooner than he said. Sorry about that. 5 months.
None of this is surprising. What I appreciate is the generalized endorsement of supplemental testosterone at the 2-year point.
Yeah, look, I can't say we endorse it or we don't, but I think it's something very, very good to consider. And I think if you've got a really top quality genitourinary medical oncologist, you have to take their guidance. It's like before with Alan Bryce. Alan Bryce, we trust him. Channing Palla, we trust Channing Palla. So I think that, if you were with some local person who wasn't a GU specialist, I don't know what we'd say, but we trust Channing Palla. So I think that we have to say right now, yeah, you're under her guidance. It's what you want to do, and it may help you a lot. But I also want to say that there's a lot more factors that run into it, whether 2 years is a good period or a bad period. There's many factors, just like Jimmy said. What was your starting amount? How old are you? How long were you on there? We can't just say, well, yes, I disagree with Larry. We can't just say, well, yeah, 2 years is a reasonable amount. There's too many factors that we have to count in.
I realize there are too many independent variables.
Yeah.
But Jimmy, I appreciate the idea of looking at the 2-year target as the Olympics and working up to that.
Yeah, well, and the only other thing I want to say is, Rick, you put on something. I always hear about this. If you start to get on TRT and your PSA starts to rise, you just get off of it, right? It's kind of like trying to put the toothpaste back in the tube. Right.
I just to show there's no hard feeling to Larry, please check the chat window for the estradiol initiative link there and the new newsletter. And we don't have time to discuss that today. Sadly, I still want to get to David D, who's our last person. And I just do want to remind you, don't forget the presentation that's coming up on estradiol with the UCSF Patient Journal crew, which is sponsored by Bayer through PCF. So definitely be there. And I'm really hoping they have a GU medical oncologist there, because it's beyond me how they could have set this up without even without having an American GU medical oncologist in the room. But they seem to have done that, but hopefully we intervened and that will change. Okay, David, sorry to keep you so long, but it's been a busy group tonight.
No worries. Just a quick update. I put in an application for the Real Recovery.
Oh, good.
And I'm going in September to Winthrop, it's an area around Winthrop, Eastern Washington, fly fishing.
Oh, okay. I've actually thought maybe I need to do that. I'm so sorry that Len isn't here to hear that. We'll have to bring that one out next week when Dr. John and Len are both in the room. I was on the lake last week, and there's a guy there who I often see. He always gives me a shout out, and I suddenly remembered who he was. And he's a fly fisherman who was raised in Idaho. And so I was about done, and his boat was near, so we started talking. And I told him about Real Recovery, and I said to him, why don't you look up Real Recovery? Because you'd be perfect as a guide. You'd make a great guide. So he said, yes, he was going to look it up. And I did see him on Sunday. I did see him yesterday on the lake, but I didn't want to push him just yet. But, oh, that is really, really good news. So be sure you send the pictures, because we need pictures. I think we still need pictures from Len. Len says he caught a fish, but he hasn't sent pictures. Yeah. So we don't know. So, and does everybody on here know what Real Recovery is? If there's at least, if somebody doesn't know what Real Recovery is, put your hand up right now and I'll tell you very quickly. Okay, Larry doesn't know, and Avery doesn't know, and Bruce Shrimp doesn't know. Okay, Real Recovery is a fabulous nonprofit that teaches you how to fly fish, amongst other things. It's a men-only retreat, although there may be ladies there who are guides, and the guides are there to help teach you how to fly fish. They're actual fly fisher people. And it's interspersed with a bunch of sessions like our Men Speaking Freely, where you get to talk about everything and anything that's related to your cancer and what it's like living with cancer. These sessions are all around the country. There's going to be a session somewhere close to where you live, as in David's case. Len did one in Connecticut recently. Neil Sundstrom did one in Idaho recently, and they're all over. And the guys come back and they love it. There's no cost at all, but you do have to get yourself to the location and back. We need to send Jimmy on one of these Real retreats. That's what we need to get Jimmy on one of these Real retreats. He'd be perfect for that. Perfect.
City boy.
Perfect. How's your fly? How's that casting motion?
It's great. This is what I cast. I cast an electric guitar. That's all I cast.
All right. So that's what Real Recovery is. It's realrecovery.org. I'm going to put it in the last thing I'm going to do is put it in the chat window and then bid you all a good night. And thank you so much for sharing that, David. Love it. Absolutely. We absolutely love it. All right. Anything else? Or is it soup yet?
Soup.
Good. Soup. Okay. Jim, Dr. John's back in the hot seat next week. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.